Greetings, may Flutrain, goddess of water, grant you her blessing this day. We are once again blessed with an episode of Ascendance of a Bookworm. Today we're going to be getting episode 31. Last week we had episode 30, wherein we learned a bit more about the spring prayer and what all is involved. We also learned the name of this mysterious blue-robed priest that gave mine a bit of trouble, but he's intriguing, playful, and perhaps not taking life seriously, and then all of a sudden in the scene in the Liza Gang's mansion, he was super serious. And then later on in the episode, we saw quite a bit of magic being used by him and the Knight Commander Karstead. It was quite exciting, and I was truly happy to see how much effort had been put into uh, preserving as much detail as they could in the jump from the light novel to the anime episode. Uh, we learned a bit more about the issues that could arise if Mind does not control herself. If she didn't have the bracelet that Ferdinand had given her, she could have died. In the Chibi scene at the end of the episode, he mentioned that if she were to lose control of her emotions or her mana, it would result in her body no longer being able to contain the mana that she was releasing. Her skin would start to boil, and she'd essentially boil apart or burst apart. It's not a fun way to go. I commit to Dragoner, the goddess of time, 69 units of mana. I commit to Dragoner, the goddess of time. So we have episode 31 coming up, titled Gift from the Blue Robe Priest and Going Home. Now, that'll be enough. The Blue Robe Priest could be Sylvester. It would make sense since he's the new face around here. And aside from Ferdinand, I'm not aware of any other names that might have been dropped for Blue Robe Priests. So he's going to give mine something and going home. So looks like maybe mine will finally get to go home and visit her family. Oh yes, these scenes were so wonderful. Today I'm drinking a mimosa. 50% champagne, 50% orange juice, or any type of fruit juice really. Typically though, if you're not using orange juice, you specify what type of juice you're making your mimosa with. Oh, I missed that the first time. Decent amount of mana to do God of Darkness barriers. Herlock was the purple-haired man that Ferdinand had mind go into a coach and cover herself when they were meeting with him. Devouring soldiers. Ah, interesting. Mine's condition was referred to as the Devouring when she was in seasons 1. Yeah, it was in season 1 it was referred to that. And a splash of grenadine. Ah. That looks absolutely lovely if I do say so myself. The gift from the Blue Robe Priest and going home. The value of a human life. She would never leave someone behind. Not that she cares about. Hey, buddy, Monica. Just notice those statues are bald. Not that that's a bad thing. Lounging around like he owns the place. It's like a mango-shaped orange. The way he was eating it, was it like an apple or a pear? An odd thing for a blue robe priest to be interested in. Oh, okay. Oh, Ferdinand's gonna see it too. Finally have to check up on that problem child. Oh yeah, you can still tell she's still frightened. Getting noticed by a blue robe is not what she wants. Quite a step up for orphans, compared to last winter where all they did was shiver. Too much to say, not enough time. Where's the fun stuff? Yeah.
え
Rich coming from
それい
you.
つその忘れ物をしたんですか？
Yes.
ベノ
Oh,
に
yeah.
だから
They summon
こ
Benno
の
over.
作
And
ったんです
Leon.
ね。
Ah,
Or were they
Leon.
just there?
Leon's
作ったのよ。
interesting. I wonder if they'll go into his
で
character at
い
all.
いです。
おう、顔を上げ。
恐れ入ります。
What was Ferdinand staring at? Yes. Well done.
ベンノ、
The cat seems to have
俺
his
見どこ
tongue.
ろについて話がしたい。来い。
Man is shook.
この機械は何だ？
Ah, that's what he was looking. Oh, they're already starting to make it.
すごいでしょ？
歴史が変わる。
That is how books, I believe, are currently made. They mass produce implications. They mass produce specific pages, then they take different runs of those specific pages, combine them to make a book, and then you have multiple copies. Samuel was
お前
shocked.
が悪い。
Was he not expecting Benno to do that to mine? Oh wow!
お前みたいな伝説的な人だけは間違いない。
It's a good look. Messy hair.
Oh.
What
All
does his
dripped
hair
out.
remind me of? Deku. It's Deku's hair. Yeah, Leon went with them. Oh, okay. Oh, look at that. Leon and the way he's looking at him. Interesting. They might not go more into his character, but if you're paying attention, you'll see something's up. We went hunting. Ah, so this is the gift.
ありがとう存じます。お守り？
Protective charm.
お前は男から装飾品をもらったことがないのか？
Don't get butthurt about it, mine. Mine's what? 7? Maybe
俺
8?
はまずい状況に陥ったら、この黒い石の部分に血痕を押せ。
Press your blood against this. Lut's gonna be there to poke her finger for her to do that, though. So he values her enough to give her a present. A gift of sorts. Uh-oh. Ferdinand and mine. Hand transcribing works was difficult work. Mass production simply wasn't possible back then.
農民や町の者々で本が普及することで世界はどう変わった？
Well, mine is honest to a fault, so
影響が大きすぎてどうなるかわからないと。
power of information. A lot's at stake.
自殺はしないように。
それって既得系列を持つのが貴族ってことですか？
Exactly. So she's
平
10.
民が貴族の領分を荒らせば一気に潰されるんだ。
But if you're a higher noble, power of a name and a reputation.
今すぐカルステッドの養女にならないか。
だからギリギリまで家族といたいんです。
He's learning and growing.
あと2年は子供向けの本を細々と作る程度にとどめよう。
Golding's over. I feel like it was worded a bit more pointedly in the light novel, but maybe I'm remembering wrong. Wasn't he like, be content with making a few picture books here and there or something like that?
まだ話は終わっていない。もう家に帰ってよろしい。
Yay, this is the second part. Yay, going home. Is that almost a smile from Ferdinand? You're dismissed when he dismisses you.
というのがそれほどいいものですの？
Celia's so interested in what a family is. Or it's something different from what she's lived. Samuel shocked by her jumping around or by her loving family?
今にも生まれそう。
Horses are
Aw.
involved. Ah, the full bed that she dreamed of, or that she missed that first night. It's happening already, wow. Didn't expect that this episode. Bringing Lamba's techniques into this world.
デリアには伏せておきます。
お祝い。どうか無事に生まれてきますように。
Ugh. Like father, like daughter. Dad reflexes. What does the bologna loaf look like? How'd you get up that fast?
カメルと一緒にいられるのはあと2年。少しでもカメル
Okay, so she's 8.
では、マイン様の下町の知り合いの者に祝い事があったと報告してください。著者が
Still snitching.
家になったロジーナを真似ているのです。クリスティーネ様にお仕えしていた頃が懐かしいわ。ロジーナのフェシピールに合わせて、毎晩踊
Looks so happy in her memories. Or when she's looking into her memory.
ロジーナは今も毎日フェシピールを弾いていますわ。そう。
I see. It's normally never good when someone tells you, I see.
その貴族様は子供がお好きなのですって。よく自分を磨くといいわ。ありがとう。
That's disgusting.
愛人になれば神殿から出られるかも。身食いの
Looking for a child with the devouring. Do we know anyone with the devouring? You can't just make a Cube-like declaration like that. Not at the end of an episode, that's cruel. I humbly offer to Dragoner, the goddess of time, who doesn't like normal 20 units of mana. So quite a lot's happened in this episode. Mine's living Delia's dream life, I guess. She's getting noticed and getting attention from Blue Robe priests. Ferdinand gave her a bed, I think. I think that was one of the presents he gave in the second season. And then now Sylvester has given her jewelry. Everything Delia wants, as disgusting as that may seem. But they're really making it clear that the way forward in the temple is quite different from what we're used to. It's not something we're comfortable with, but it's very well established in their world. Abandoned child of the cathedral and making colors. Okay.
今度無事に生まれてきてねって言ってたでしょ。あれどういう意味？
ああ、実は最初の子は流れた。その次に生まれた男の子は1年持たずに死んだ。トゥールとマインは無事に育ったが、次の子供も冬を越えられなかった。その次も。
そんなにと大変な状況だったの？神に感謝します。母さんの水の女神の剣と。
Wow. Oh, that's beautiful artwork. That's really sad. Oh, that's sad. Ooh. But birth rates were like that in the past. Or rather, survival rates. Less than half. Ugh. This family has had 4 that didn't really survive. And finish my notes. Kamiru has just now been born. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. Mine was already sick, but her sickness is more due to the devouring. So given how rare it is, how little commenters know about it, it should be rare enough that it's unlikely that her new baby brother is going to have the same illness. But yeah, the artwork, yeah, if it looks so tired and happy at the same time. Of course, Gunther and everyone else is happy. Yep, good artwork. So, episode 31. Gift from the Blue Robe Priest and Going Home. Notes of interest. So, Ferdinand mentions that it took a lot of mana to do the attack that was seen at the climax of last episode. They know nobles are involved. They don't know which ones. He also mentions briefly something called a devouring soldier. And we know the term devouring was used for, or commoners use the term devouring with regards to the condition that mine had. That is to say, buildup of mana. Devouring soldiers would probably be then soldiers who have some sort of mana in them, but he's not exactly sure. They don't have leads. After the massive attack that he and mine may or may not have boosted, Karstead accidentally destroyed any sort of lead they might have had. Afterwards, we meet back up with Sylvester. He's always looking for ways to entertain himself. I humbly offer to Dragoner, the goddess of time, 420 units of mana. He goes and tours the orphanage, the workshop, and then the third point he mentions is he wants to go to the forest. These are odd things for a Blue Robe priest to want to do. The orphanage has been neglected for quite some time before mine got there. Ferdinand would have done something, but he didn't have the authority to do so. But it seemed most of the other blue priests were okay with the situation that was going on, or at least were not willing to do anything to try and fix it. So Sylvester is actually going to look at this orphanage, at this workshop. He's interested in mine, or at least mine is curious. A form of entertainment, perhaps he's picking on her, but he sees that she's got quite a lot of differences to other children her age. So he's taking a look at everything that she's doing. At the end, though, he gives her a protective charm. Says just put her blood seal upon it if she needs to be protected. Whatever he saw on that day, or I guess in the previous days with mine, made him decide that she's worth giving this protective charm to. You don't introduce something without it coming back later, so that's gotta have some importance later on. Ferdinand summons mine. They talk about the workshop, because Ferdinand also joined on the tour of the orphanage and the workshop, and he was at a loss of words of what to say. So he took some time, composed his thoughts, summoned mine, and starts asking questions about what the true significance or the implications of mass production of books. What did it cause in her world? or rather in our world, the invention of the printing press, the promulgation of written word to such an extent. I mean, sure, you could write books and you could hand transcribe them, but it's nowhere near as effective a means of communicating information as printing presses. Once that happened, you can pump out book after book after book, and then it spreads everywhere. This information that's printed spreads everywhere, lasts longer, more people can come around, build upon it. So much happened at the start of the printing age. Later on, we also have a similar event in our lifetimes, even the culmination of the internet. I mean, so much information is available there. Or I guess I'm also skipping over radio and television. A whole lot of things changed as we get more and more ways of conveying information. And Ferdinand was very concerned because he was aware that some of the poorer nobles, I guess, or less wealthy, I guess, is the proper way to refer to them, they would transcribe books in order to earn money. If mine goes forward with printing and starts spreading further and further and perhaps going into the books that they're transcribing, suddenly they're going to lose customers, they're going to lose profit, they're not going to be happy. She's still currently just a commoner with blue robes. Sure, they're granted by the Lord, but that isn't enough of a protection. She's going up against nobles in this case, and he tells her she can't do it as a commoner, to wait until she's adopted by Karstedt. He words it in such a way, he's trying to convince mine to move along with the adoption. I guess he wants it to happen sooner rather than later, but mine still values her family more. She's now more consistently able to see the world that exists outside of her love of books. She values the time that she can spend with her family, and then shortly afterwards she gets to reunite with them. It's very heartwarming to see the love that her family has for her, and we also get to meet her new baby brother. At the end, though, we also have a scene with Delia. Delia's reporting still on the actions of mine, and we meet back up with Jenny, who has had her name mentioned a couple of times whenever she goes, or rather, whenever we take a look at what's happening at the High Bishop's camp. Jenny, I guess, was an attendant with Lady Christine when Rosina and Wilma were there. She fondly remembers her time there in the art-dedicated Blue Priestess that was there. She does not seem to be happy, or perhaps is jealous that Rosina is still able to play music like she used to. I don't know if she's still dancing for the High Bishop or if that's not exactly required of her. The circumstances that gray-robed attendants live under is not exactly a comfortable topic. She mentions also that there's a noble coming, mostly to provide false hope for Delia, and mentions that this coming noble is looking for a child, or rather is interested in children. But it isn't just any child. He's specifically looking for devouring. She doesn't mention this to Delia, but this seems to be our upcoming antagonist. The noble is looking for a child with a devouring. Perhaps this is the noble that was working with Wolf from the Ink Guild, trying to get extra information from mine, but he failed and was killed. Perhaps this is that same noble, perhaps it's another. The next episode is going to be The Abandoned Child of the Cathedral and Making Colors. Okay. The Abandoned Child of the Cathedral. So this is probably where the orphans come from. Child just literally left on the doorstep. And Making Colors. Okay. Pretty sure I know what that's going to be about. Thank you for joining me. These last 5 episodes have been very good. I'm very happy with the quality that we've had. Not amazing animation quality or production value, but it's good enough. People who are paying attention to the story can see there's so much in this universe. It's a shame we only have 5 more episodes this season, but hopefully maybe there'll be a 4th season. I don't know. I hope. We all hope. All of us Bookworm fans hope for a fourth season. The light novel chapter that was released this week, pretty good. It was an exciting graduation ceremony. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. An exciting graduation ceremony. Thank you for joining me on this episode 31 of Ascendance of a Bookworm. See you next time.